How are you?
I'm good. Who are you?
I'm Joy. Who are you?
I'm Justin.
Stop.
And today we have a special guest on Bad Breaches.
Yes.
Guest. Hi.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
I am Justin's friend that is obsessed with Harry Potter.
Yes, I shouted her out on an episode a couple times ago when we had a little closing argument about the merits of Harry Potter.
She sent us a very heated tweet about it.
Yes, my tweet was that I can only discuss the merits of Harry Potter with someone who has read every book.
Shade.
Honestly, I can up that to say has read the books like 5 times.
Okay.
5.
Well, we won't have that discussion.
But yes, I'm a fellow 1L.
Mm-hmm.
Justin and I have known each other for many, many, many years.
Decades.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But Brittany's in a different section. So Joy and I have all of our classes together. Brittany is in a different section, so she has her classes with her people.
Wait, and I'm your first female guest, right?
Oh,
Yes!
yes!
Representation.
Okay,
Yes.
representation is super important. But no, Joy and I have been talking about for weeks about how we need to have a female guest.
Perfect.
And
Shout out to an episode with no white males. I'm here for it.
super excited about
Hashtag
it.
That's
Diversity.
nice, yeah.
I know. Well, I mean, I guess the episodes with just us also
Yeah.
had no white
True.
males.
That's a true
Fair.
fact, yeah.
So the
You know.
third episode. Cool. So today we're going to talk about
Money.
money
Or lack thereof.
See, not having it.
Yes, woo, love being poor. So Brittany, do you want to talk a little bit about why? Because so we like to have our guests give us a topic that they care about and they want
Yeah.
to discuss.
Mhm.
So you want to talk a little bit about why you thought money would be a good topic?
Because I'm an expert at being poor. That's not true, but relative to some of the people here,
Yes.
and I'm not putting a judgment on that, but like, yes, very familiar with being poor.
Yeah.
And also just very interested in like what that means,
Right.
like right now and like in our daily lives.
And beyond that too.
Yes.
Yes, because
Which is a whole nother topic.
Mhm.
But I joked with Justin that I like said this episode is like being poor, aka having a public interest heart. I think we're gonna go more into like being in law school and being poor,
Right.
but I also like understand that might be a reality for me for forever.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, poor.
Poor.
Ugh. I feel like every time I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, I'm poor. Like, I have no money. She's like, don't say that, Joy. Like, it's like, okay.
That is very relative, and
Right.
that is
Right.
actually really
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
I eat, my rent gets paid.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yes.
It
We
might-
have the necessities.
Definitely, it might be paid by my student loans.
Right.
Accurate.
To be fair, this is all borrowed money.
Yes.
Right.
Future Joy is footing the bill. for
Yeah.
current
Oh,
Joy.
same.
Yes.
Same future Justin.
Yes, and future
So,
Brittany as well.
Yes. Thanks, Sally Mae.
Thanks, US Gov.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good on. I'm so here for it. Good. So it's just expensive existing. Like
Literally.
living is expensive, and I hate it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's true, like, no matter what. Like, even if you're not in law school, like,
Right.
you have to pay to stay alive.
Yes.
Which is so dumb.
Unethical.
Yeah.
I
I didn't
but-
ask to be here.
But I mean, a part of the frustration. So I think about money differently in law school than I did in undergrad.
Yeah.
I was just as poor in undergrad, but now I have degrees. Like
Right.
I have earning potential,
Right.
and now I'm in a situation where I'm like still like month to month on my rent. I'm still like trying to make sure that I can like pay for everything but at the same time, I'm having to balance that with my future earning potential
Right.
and balancing that with my passion. So like Brittany was talking about having a public interest heart and not wanting to be in debt
Yes.
and wanting to not be like this level of poor, quote
Yeah.
unquote, forever. It's just a lot to think about, and I don't want to be thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, didn't you have like a job like for the last couple of years, so it wasn't like you were living like a student?
Well, I mean, 1 year. I
Okay.
like lived abroad, and
no big deal.
I mean, it was fine. It was great. Like I loved it,
Yeah.
and I got to travel, and it was nice. But so now I'm like, just right back into the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
throes of it.
Right. I got in an argument with my mom about this whole like idea of it's like cute and accepted to be poor in undergrad and like, you know, that's
Right.
just like the cute thing, like, you
Mhm.
know, broke
Ramen for
college
dinner,
student,
yeah.
But then when you go to grad school or law school, like you just extended that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You're
like
like, I
that's
was already poor. Like I did my time.
yes,
Like
exactly. And
yeah.
it's so much cuter for like, you know, you're 20 and like
Yeah, you know, but I'm creeping up there.
yeah, and like when you think of doing that for 7 years, like the outlook is
Right.
different. Like 4 years of that is so different than
Mhm.
7 years of that.
Yeah.
also you're just like younger. Like being poor isn't a big
Yes.
deal when you're 19.
Right.
Like
Well, your friends are making money.
yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
people think that you have, like,
Right.
societally, you're supposed to not be a poor college student anymore, but
Exactly.
you are.
And I don't know if this is like a thing for you guys, but when I was in undergrad, I worked. So
Mhm,
Oh, that's
same.
spending
true.
money
Yes.
like didn't seem as much as of a big
Mhm.
deal because I
Because-
was like, oh, I can like make it up. I'll
Because you
pick up
had an
extra-
income.
Yeah, like I'll pick up an extra shift. Like I'll do this,
Yes.
I'll do that. Like I can make it work. But now I'm like, oh, this is like all of the money I have.
Yes.
And I'm burning through this so much quicker than I thought I was going to. So you're just like, I don't know how to.
Right. Also, on
balance
top of
that.
like having to spend all this money, we're not allowed to have jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you do not have the time
Yes.
to
Yeah.
put into that.
Yeah. I both make less money and spend
Spend
more
more.
money in law
Yes.
school.
Absolutely.
Because in undergrad, I did work too, and also was able to be like, no, you can have PB&J for dinner
Right.
because, like, I don't know, I was home for a few hours,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
I took a nap, and like, I was fine, you know, like
Right.
everything was going just fine. And now I'm like, it's dinner time. I will just not eat dinner
Right.
Yeah.
if I have to make it. Like, I'll just
Yeah.
go to bed.
J-
So then I drive to Wendy's and get 4 for $4.
That's perfect segue into the next part of like this. Sorry, it makes me really depressed. Intersection of like trying to be economical with your money and your time and also your energy. So
Right.
like spending a whole week every day reading in class all day, studying all night, and then getting up and doing it the next day. Like sometimes the thought of going to the grocery store.
Right. That's like the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like I need to go literally right after we do this, and I don't want to. I'm
No.
like trying to come up with a treat to get myself to make myself do it.
Yes.
But I know that at the same time, there's just no way to win. It's a
Yeah.
double bind. I know at the same time it's gonna stress me out if I keep spending money going out on
Right.
food.
Yes. Isn't that
But
sad?
how do I can't I still haven't decided the weight of that
Right.
compared to the anxiety of like going and trying to plan my meals in advance
Mhm.
and then the energy I would need to actually execute that plan and like which is better?
Right.
Which is better? The energy I'm losing there or the money I'm losing here? And I don't want to have to be making those decisions.
I'm making too many decisions already. So I'd
Right.
rather just not.
Also, one of the only joys of my life at this point is food.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
100%.
Had a good day, I'm gonna go get Firehouse. Had a bad day, I'm gonna go get Fire. Like,
Right.
is this an okay day? I'm gonna make it a good day. I'm gonna go get dinner. Like Chick-fil-A.
Yes, Chick-fil-A.
And like truly is one of the only things I can like look forward to and give myself and like feel
Right.
good about on a day-to-day basis. Which is horrible. I'm not recommending that, but
But it's our
it's
saving
a
grace.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to the time management piece because it'd be like a lot harder to like be like, oh, I can take an hour out of my day to go do yoga or do something like that.
Uh-huh.
But you have to eat anyway. So
Yeah.
you might
You're
as well-
so right. Combine your like
Mhm.
treating yourself with like literally
Yes.
nourishing your body.
Yeah, exactly.
So true.
Absolutely.
So,
I
Yeah.
haven't thought
no,
about
that's
that.
a
but
very
that's,
good point. You don't have to feel guilty about taking time to eat,
Right.
Yeah.
or you might still.
I mean, you know,
sometimes I
but
still do.
Yeah.
You
But
feel I think you can feel less guilty about that than
Right.
like
you
saying
have
you're
to.
like
Yeah.
watching something on Netflix.
Yeah.
So you know, like
Uh-huh.
taking time for how sad is that? That like literally taking 23 minutes to watch a show that you like an episode of The Office on Netflix
Mhm.
is like something you should end up feeling guilty about.
That's cyclical too, though, because
Mhm.
then I like. So I did that to make myself feel better, but now I feel bad because
Yeah.
I
Right.
just wasted all my time. So now I still feel like shit. Like
Yeah.
you just can't win.
And it's like, I don't know. I think it goes back to that thing that the professor said that was like, you can always do more. You can always like be more.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, but
But
that
you
makes me
can't-
feel
you
so
can't.
bad.
Yes.
You literally
Anytime I'm doing anything but studying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, how do I reconcile
Mm-hmm.
doing what I need to do to like be a healthy whole person, but also not
not just
Yeah.
just no longer cease to be a person.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's the thing I see in my classmates. Like, I try to, like, definitely you're allowed to put as much time you need to into studying, like, doing things, but it's the whole, it's a marathon, not a sprint, which is, like, so obnoxious, and we
Yeah.
hear it all the time, but it is really true.
It
Actually,
is.
okay, so I was a social work major, so self-care is huge. That was, like, whole classes dedicated to that, and I had a professor that said something that I think about all the time in law school. And he was talking about, like, the stress of school. Actually, I think because we were talking about stress, and I said, well, you know, compared to, like, when you've had real stress, like, when you've, like, death or, like, worrying about a family member, like, true real stress, school stress seems like nothing. Like, you don't know what stress is until you have, like, that real stress. And he was like, definitely respect that. Like, that's very, very true. And he said, but it's a different kind of stress. And he said, so those huge things I was talking about, that's like a tsunami. Like, you have this event, it's huge. It could even be kind of long-term, but, like, generally there's probably an end to that. And, like, you deal with it. It's very overwhelming, but then you're done. And he said school stress, and this was an undergrad, so it's 10 times more in law school, is like you're in the middle of an ocean, and it's just wave after wave after wave. Yeah. And the thing is, it's 3 years in law school. I mean, that's a really long time to be stuck in that. I would actually say law school is a little bit of both. Yeah. Because, like, your tsunami could be, like, finals. Or, you know, I mean, I think that it's a little, to be fair, I think it's both. But he was saying both of those are just as dangerous, like, for your health and, like, just as important. Honestly, those smaller ones could be worse because there is no end.
Right. Yeah.
You're dealing with that every single day.
I mean, it's just like, I think I've seen a tweet that really, like, kind of sums it up. It's like, I've been saying, if I can just make it through this week, every week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. Like, every Friday, I'm, like, overcome with, like, oh, it's Friday.
Right.
But then I, like, think, oh, well, I need to get started on next week.
Yeah.
And meet, like, I have, like, 3 seconds where I'm like, okay, good, it's Friday. But then I'm like, oh, wait, no. We have torts and contracts next week that I need to start reading. And so
I was talking to my mom this weekend, and she was like, oh, it seems like you're doing better. Like, you seem to be doing better. And I was like, no, I think I'm just numb to the pain now. Like, I've just gotten used to it being, like, a constant, I'm 3 seconds away from tears. And so, I guess I seem like I'm doing better, so that's cool. Maybe this is better.
I don't know. I've been thinking a lot very recently about, like, our bodies.
Yeah.
Like, what that, like, sure, we, like, are in this false sense of, like, everything is fine. It's the dog with the kitchen on fire. This is fine meme.
Yes.
Like, I've never identified with that more, but does that mean you're actually doing better? Like, I think, like, sometimes you, like, internalize that. And, like, but are we doing better? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe this is our new better. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
kind of scary, though, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I was sitting, like, at the cafe in between classes one day, and several of us from different sections, people from your section were sitting with us, and we were just talking, and people were talking about their readings, and I just had a moment where I was, like, stepping back and thinking about that and compared to how our first, like, week or two of class, and just the way they were approaching their discussion was so much different. They weren't nearly, they were probably still stressed.
Yeah.
Just the way they worked that out was different.
Right.
Oh, I remember this. I did not know what the reading was about that day. We had class in, like, 10 minutes. I had read it. I mean, that wasn't the problem. It was just, like, it did not concern me that I was walking into class. That's true. I mean, I will say, like, things like cold calls. Definitely the stress of that has gone down. Compared to, I mean, and it's hard to say that because when you're cold called, like, my hand still shakes.
Yeah.
That's, like, my one thing is, like, my hands shake. But so different. At the beginning, that was a full body experience. When they were about to call on someone, my heart dropped that second before every time. It did, like, even if I had been called on the day before, when they said miss, I, like, my whole body, like, clenched up. Now I'm like, you know what? Call on me.
Right. I did the reading. Okay.
Yeah.
I have notes.
I mean, I say that. Please don't.
Right.
But
don't
you know what? Like,
if you're a professor listening to this.
Oh, wait, yeah, please. I'm not asking for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't.
Please. But, you know, that definitely is so much better.
Right.
I mean, I have an attitude about it sometimes. I'm like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Same. And I think that it's, at the beginning of the year, they told us that, like, you should be preparing for finals, not preparing for cold calls.
Yes.
And at the beginning, I was like, you don't know what you're talking about.
It's easy for you to say that. You've done this already.
But now we get it.
Yeah, now I'm like, okay, I can stumble my way through a cold call. And, like,
it won't matter either way.
But no one's going to remember. Like, no one's listening to what I'm saying besides the professor. He's not going to remember in a week. So it's fine.
I listen when you get cold called.
Oh, do you?
I do. Wow, I have my phone on. Whoops. Sorry, guys.
Ooh.
Wow, I'm the worst podcaster
Boo.
ever. Anyway, back to money. Um, did we talk about? Oh. So also back to the like whole economy, time, energy,
Right.
trichotomy. Trademark. Um, when like people talk about like meal prepping and getting enough exercise and doing all these other things that like make them happy as an individual, when?
Right.
Where's the time to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I will say that, like, I've started incorporating it, like, a little bit. So, like,
Yeah?
when I'm walking to Starbucks to get my coffee, instead of, like, strolling, I'll do, like, a brisk
Nice.
walk.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, yes, like, this is it. I'll bring my backpack, so that's, like, a little bit of extra
A
weight.
weight.
Yeah, exactly. And then you feel like you're doing something.
For sure.
It's
Yeah.
not like you're just sitting around all day.
So when do you meal
But-
prep?
I don't. I feel so attacked. Two, I buy Cliff Bars, and
Yes.
that is meal prepping. I keep applesauce in my locker,
Yeah.
so I can say I'm getting at least some fruit.
I'm not getting up at 5 a.m.
No.
I'm
I
not
agree.
doing it. I already get up. Well, I get up at 7, and that's early
Same.
for me.
Yeah.
It's my
But this
early.
is another one of those, like, this is self-care. Like, me not doing that is me taking care of myself. I'm so sorry,
Well-
but
Well, and you're taking care of other people too, because if you come and you're like,
yes.
I've been up since 5 o'clock. I hate every single one of
Yeah.
you. Like, I'm not.
Like I don't
I'm
want
not a
my
morning
relationship.
person.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want my relationships to people to disintegrate because I'm a bitch in the morning.
I would also slack in other areas. If
Yeah,
I was making
true.
time for that, because I think all the time, I will not do just about anything to have time to call my mother. Like, I
Right.
will definitely miss out on Netflix. I will.
Mhm.
I will very much miss out on reading
It's a
to call
priority.
my mom. Like, I think you all, like, everyone knows what their thing is, like, that they need. And for me, that's that. And if I was doing stuff like exercising or meal prepping for an hour or whatever,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that would take away from, like, that thing that I need.
Right. Well, also, I don't know if this is just a me thing, but I'm so stressed that I'm not as hungry as I used to be anyway. So I can't eat as much, so I've lost weight. So this could
That's
be
kind
like,
of a win. I don't
right?
know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
I'll
like,
save
I've
money
lost
and
12
time by
pounds.
just not eating.
It's fine.
What a life hack.
I know.
Well, I can't tell you how many times I have coffee for breakfast.
Yes.
Every
And I used to
single day.
never do that.
Yes. No, every day.
Like I
Every
was
day.
adamant about like even at the beginning of the semester I was like, okay, you're gonna eat breakfast every morning,
That's cute.
have your coffee too, but you're just gonna stay on top of things. And these past couple weeks I've been like, I don't have the time for that.
I get a
I don't feel like
macchiato,
it.
so it has milk. And you're like, that's more filling.
Perfect. Well, I use the Dunkin' Donuts extra sugar, extra cream creamer. So that's like having a dessert at the beginning of my day, but
Yes.
it's fine.
Start your day with a
Yes.
smile.
Start your day with a
Exactly.
smile.
Exactly.
I just things are also just like expensive. Like
Really.
shampoo,
Mm.
toilet paper.
To be fair, if you want to do like a clarifying shampoo, you can just mix baking soda and water.
Ooh,
And
life hack.
That's nice.
Who has
Yeah.
baking soda?
It's
Well,
literally,
Just kidding.
but it's
I
like the
know.
44 cents.
Yeah, no,
versus
it's super
like,
cheap. It's super cheap.
No, that's so true. And I like have started buying bar soap instead of like bottle
It's so
soap.
much cheaper.
For two reasons. It is ridiculously cheap, which I love, and also I have to buy it less because
Right.
Mm-hmm.
it like lasts so long. But there's like a part of me that's sad every morning when I use this. And with bar soap is fine. Like, what difference does it make once it's on your fucking loofah? But like,
No
part of
shade to
me-
anyone that uses bar soap.
I use bar soap,
Yeah.
but like, part of me is like, I need to be the level of wealthy, literally, that I can buy the soap that I want. It just feels metaphorical. Like, the soap is fine, but when will I be at a point where I can buy the soap that I want? The expensive toothpaste.
The bar is on the
Right.
ground.
Literally.
I know.
I don't want to have to make
Okay.
sacrifices.
No, but
Don't
like-
think that I'm like that. I'm doing fine.
No,
But
like
it just feels metaphorical.
No,
So
absolutely.
like the other areas of my life where I'm buying like off-brand oatmeal. Just let me. And I know I was a social work major. I would be making shit money in a
regardless.
career
Yeah.
right now, but I would be able to buy not bar soap. So I just think like I'm doing this to myself for years. It's
Yeah.
back to this whole like cute poor college student thing that like
Mhm.
does not deserve to be stretched 7 years.
I don't deserve that. We don't. None of us deserve.
Right.
You just heard my ridiculous bar soap story. I mean, it's pitiful.
No, but I understand, like...
And, like, I don't know. I think law school is just different in nature because if you go to grad school, it's typically, like, funded, you know? So you have, like...
You would have, like, an assistantship or something where
Oh,
you're, like, making
yes.
money.
And it's 2 years instead of 3 years.
Right.
And yes.
And, like, theoretically, you could probably have a side job and be fine.
Yeah.
Law school, they're like, nope, you have no way to make money.
Yes.
You're actually paying us to be here.
Yes.
Sucks.
It's significantly more expensive. I found out that grad school here, our unnamed university, is cheaper than undergrad. Like, the tuition
What?
is $1,000 cheaper.
That's so crazy.
Undergrad tuition is $9,000. Grad school is, I'm sure that's all in state. But
Yeah.
so grad school is $8,000. Law school is $20,000.
Okay, but I have friends, like, at my undergrad that did they're, like, doing PT school or something like that. I don't know. That's probably wrong. If you listen to this, I'm sorry. And they're not paying for school. Like, they're not taking loans
Yes.
out. Like, their program is funded.
Yep.
The school is paying them money.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, where's that deal for me?
Right.
Like, how do I do that?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, can't do anything but law school your first year. Sorry.
Yep.
Pass. And then, one summer, you have to go do, like, a law-based job, and you're probably not making money on that.
Oh, no.
So,
No. Who pays a 1L?
I have a degree. Why am I working for free?
And if you're interested in public interest, I'm sorry, but you're stretching that out for your entire lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I, like,
It's
refuse.
terrible.
I'm not doing it. Like, I have a good heart, I like to
Sure.
think. Like, I want to help people,
Right.
but I'm like, maybe in my life that looks like me doing pro bono work. Because if I
Yes.
have to live this way for the rest of my life, I'm not doing it.
No, I say to
I'm
Justin.
dropping out now.
Yes, I say to Justin all the time, like, I cannot be poor.
Yep.
I cannot. I mean,
Just-
I've lived my whole life at, like, borderline poor, and I cannot go through this and
Right.
continue to do that.
For the rest of my
I
life.
want my house to be set at a comfortable temperature.
Yes.
And
oh
me
my God.
not to worry about,
Right.
oh, that's going to make my electric bill go up.
I'm gonna buy whatever soap I please.
Right. I'm going to be at the point in my life where, like, I only have to check my account, like, monthly and not, like, every other day to be like, how much money did I blow through?
Just to check to make sure, let me make sure that direct deposit hit. Just
Yes.
curious.
Yes.
Do I need to call someone to sort this out?
Like, don't need to know.
Like,
No.
not get water when you go out to eat.
yeah.
I love
water
Coke.
because I want water.
I love
Yes.
Coke Zero my whole life. I mean, if I was okay with spending that extra $2, like, are you kidding me?
Get you a sparkling water if you're
Are
interested.
you kidding me?
If you're
I
nasty.
mean-
Mhm.
Yeah, you. I mean, it would be easier to eat healthier.
Right.
Okay, which brings me, I'm making my own transition on not my podcast.
Please
We
do.
can have this as my hot take if you want, because it's actually, I don't know if controversial is a word, but, like, and we talked about it a little bit already, but that not everyone in law school is in the same position.
Right.
And I understand poor is relative, so, I mean, that, even us saying this is, like, coming from a place of extreme privilege.
Where does this rise from? What conversation? I think that's a good place to start it.
Okay, so Justin and I were speaking to one of our very good friends.
Well, your professional mentor.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me back up. So I was speaking to my professional mentor before school even started, and we were talking about this whole, like, because she does big law, and she kind of just had that conversation we just had where she was like, I grew up poor, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were talking about, I said, but something I'm excited about is, like, we're all in the same, like, playing field. Like, we all got to this point, like, we all graduated college already, like, we are all at the same level. And she was like, okay, I know what you mean, but no, you're not. I was like, okay. And she said, like, some people are not worrying about paying rent. Like, some people are fine buying the textbooks. We talked about this. Some people, like, don't have to wonder if they really need that supplement. They can just buy the supplement.
Yeah.
And so she said, it's not a level playing field. Like, you're worrying about things and you have things on your plate that other people do not. And it was a nice thing to tell me because I was like, that's very true.
Right. And so the time they're not spending, worrying about money or rent, they can dedicate the energy to studying, to reading, to taking care of themselves physically and mentally and all those things. And it really is, I think, important to think about because that's something that we are thinking about, even in the midst of everything else. Like, it's, like, usually in the back of my head.
Yeah.
I would list that as one of my highest stressors.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, law school obviously is
Yeah.
the biggest one.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and
Number 1
it's
through 3.
yes, but I mean, very much tied in with the stress of law school is the stress of thinking about the interest on your loans
Yeah.
and like things like that. I mean, you can't separate that.
Yeah.
But some people do. Some people don't have
Yeah,
that at all.
But then at the same time, I will say that it's like a good motivator for me because
Mhm.
I feel like I say this all the time. I'm like, I can't drop out because who's going to pay my loans?
Yes.
Like, how am I going to pay my
Yes.
loans?
Right.
Like, I honestly, at this point, I don't have another choice.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
So,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
very true.
Kind of upsets me, though.
Yeah, no,
To think that.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
But it's just nice day to day. You're not wondering like, should I do that? Like you're just
Right.
doing it.
Yeah.
Like this is what we're doing.
Yeah, there's no question. You're just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's actually like a clarity there.
Right.
That's true.
There's no other option.
Yeah, we're doing it.
What am I going to do?
Yep.
Literally nothing.
We're going to fuck this curve up. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
In the good way.
In the good way, yeah.
Oh, yeah, fuck it up. 0.
Need the courage in my life.
Oh. Okay, you want to take a break for a second?
Let's take a break.
Sure.
Okay, we'll be back. And we're back.
Woot.
Woody hoo. Okay. So Joy, do you have a budget? Have you met one? Do you know her?
I previously had a budget. I don't know her. She has not been around for a hot minute now.
Why is that?
Okay. Well, I think
So what were you thinking of when you made your budget?
I went through my bank statements from
Mhm.
undergrad and I would
Wow.
average
Wow.
them and I was like, oh, this is roughly how much I'm spending.
Wait, yeah.
Okay, good
a
job.
month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then I used that and then I
Oh,
thought
wait,
of
so that's even more disappointing.
right,
that
I
you
know.
can't- Yeah.
I know because it was super thought out.
It was
Do you have like
logical.
some spreadsheets?
I did I had a spreadsheet. I did everything. I
Oh.
tracked how much I spent.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna come in and rock it.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Why is that?
It's so far off what I thought.
What has been off?
Just everything. You know, no one really discloses how much money you're gonna spend in law school.
Mhm.
And I hunted. I'm telling you, I looked for that shit.
Mm.
I was like, oh, roughly how much would I spend? No one tells you about supplements
Yes.
and how expensive they are.
Yes.
No one tells you about the little shit that they spring on you, or the fact that we're gonna have to pay for all of these tests that we have to take
Mhm.
eventually.
Mhm.
So you're just I don't know. I feel like I was blindsided.
Yeah, I mean, at orientation, I remember this vividly.
Right.
They were like, yeah, so these are just some things to be on the lookout for on the horizon. In your 3L year, you'll want to take a bar prep course, and those are upwards of $1,500.
Wait, you want to know what made me want to scream?
Yes, please.
They said, so you can start saving for this. And I was like, what kind of rich, privileged?
Bitch.
Thank you. I mean, what a joke. Oh,
Right.
yes. Forget
Mhm.
the other many thousands of
I'll
dollars
put
I'm taking out in loans.
I'll put my
Right.
$20 up every week.
Literally.
I mean, how arbitrary.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
and
let me
it's,
save for that.
right. And it's one of those things where you're just I barely have the money to live now.
Yes.
I and
oh
I
my
think
God.
that when you're at that point, I'm probably going to be like this when I'm a real functioning adult with a
Mhm.
real job too, where you just forget how much things are,
Yes.
because it's really easy to be like, oh, it's only $50 for a supplement,
Mhm.
but I'm that's my grocery budget for a
Yes.
week.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to reconcile that with the rest of the dumpster fire that is
Right.
my
Because
big
I've
expense.
absolutely had to make that decision before, whether or not, am I going to go buy bread for my lunchtime sandwiches, or am I going to buy the supplement?
Right.
And guess who didn't buy the supplement?
Okay, I'm just saying that brings it back to that this is not a level playing field. There
It's
are
really
people
not.
not making those decisions.
Yes.
They probably
It is
don't
not
even
their
need bread.
fault.
No.
It is not their fault.
Absolutely
I am
not.
not.
It
saying it's
just-
their fault.
It's,
It is different.
It's just something that to be considered.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
that I mean, we're making decisions like that some people aren't having to think about.
Yes. I mean, and to be fair, we're doing great
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
relative to,
Go us.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
But
I
then-
haven't cried yet. Oh, I did cry, but I was reading Harry Potter.
fair.
On top of that, nobody discloses SBA dues or dues for any of the other
Mhm.
clubs or things that you just have to buy or going to bar review every week. And then you're
Yes.
lifting to bar review, you're lifting back, you're spending money
Mhm.
at bar review. And I'm I can't,
Mhm.
this is a lot. And I wish someone would have told me beforehand, take your budget and then multiply it by like 1.5, and then you'll maybe be in like the right ballpark. I'm literally selling my iPad because I can't like afford my life right now. I also don't use my iPad, and I never used it.
Well, I'm proud that you attempted a budget. I just have to say I came into this knowing I have very little money. I'm going to have very little money. I'm going to have no income. And then I just went with that, and I'm like, try to do everything as cheaply as possible, which is not a good method.
Yeah. I set aside, did some quick little math and set aside enough for rent and a guess at what utilities will be.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have that.
That'll
for
be really nice for next year, though, because I will, like, I'm in the same apartment, and that is so nice. Like, those core expenses are going to stay the same, so that is nice.
Yeah, and I guess not being a homeowner is nice because, like, if something goes wrong in our apartment, we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But then, like, I had to pay to get my car serviced, and I was, like, going in expecting, like, a $30 oil change, and she hits me with the fact that it's going to be $240. And
Let
that
me do
was
it for you
literally
next
my face.
time.
I was like,
I'll do it for you.
I only
next
have
time.
to do it every 15,000 miles, and my car hit 15,000 miles.
What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a Nissan Juke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can totally do that.
Yeah. Can you really?
I can 100% do that. We'll go to Walmart and buy the parts.
Wait, listen to this money-saving tip. Find a friend that can change your oil. The other money-saving tip, because we all know, everyone in law school has glasses.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a free ad.
Okay, look. We have not been paid for what we're about to tell you.
But we should be.
I tell every person I meet, honestly.
If I see someone with glasses,
I do
hey,
too.
have you heard?
It's life-changing.
There's a website called Zenni Optical. Zenni Optical. This is what you do. You go on there. They have frames, prescription lenses. Brittany, how much do your glasses cost?
$7. The whole ass thing, and I have a
Wait,
really
like,
high
even
prescription.
with the lenses?
Yes, it's
the
frames
entire,
and lenses.
The entire glasses on my face for a very, very high prescription. $7, $5 shipping, but it's $5 shipping no matter how many glasses you get.
Mm-hmm.
So to really hack it, I'm gonna next time I do it buy a couple pairs.
That's literally about to be me. I'm gonna have a pair for literally
They have
every one of my
sunglasses?
personalities.
So I just bought a pair of
Prescription
sunglasses. $20. You can choose the tint color and whether or not they're transitions. That's a little bit more expensive, but like
yes.
all the things. You can get them engraved.
Yeah.
All
There's
kinds
a
of
lot
stuff.
of potential upcharges.
Yes.
But mine, okay, this is another little tip. They said I needed to spend more money, like $20 for thinner lenses because my prescription's so high. I was like, no, we're not doing that. And they're fine. $7.
All you have to do is call your eye doctor, get your prescription. They'll give it to you, whatever your most recent prescription is. Type the little numbers in.
Okay, they're
Click
going to
one.
ask for your PD. What is that? Your
Pupillary distance.
Okay, I have a friend that ignored that, got glasses that she could not see out of.
Okay.
That is not a joke. They need to know where your eyes are going to be seeing out of your glasses.
Yes.
So get a little friend with a
To measure
ruler.
the distance between your
Question:
pupils.
You think you can do it with like the iPhone thing? Because now you can like
That would be
measure-
badass.
Maybe.
Ooh, we're gonna try it.
Ooh.
Well,
We will keep you updated.
if you can't, they have a cute little ruler you print off, and you
Oh,
just
yeah.
like get a
Oh.
cute
That's
little
pretty
friend.
nice.
They say you can do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself.
Yeah, I'm
please.
gonna make your friend do it.
Make your friend do it. Okay, I tell everyone that
Yes.
that is so make or break.
Oh, absolutely.
Glasses are $200.
Easy.
You
You
literally just saved my life.
you can
because
get,
I
like,
need a pair of
20 like you can get so many glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I know so many people in law school who, if they did not have glasses, they're about to need them. Like your poor
Right.
eyes.
Well, maybe we shouldn't. We should cut this out for the curve. I'm just kidding.
If they can't see, they can't see the exam.
Just kidding. Love y'all. Another tip, a car tip. Anything you need to know how to do in your car, you can find it on YouTube.
Ooh,
Like
True.
my dad has worked on cars for years, and whenever we like go to do something new to like one of our cars, we just look it up on YouTube.
My dad too.
Yeah,
Love it.
like I've learned so much on YouTube. Like I can do all kinds of stuff now.
Pro tip.
That's true for
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah, use
Literally,
YouTube. Use
Get
your
your essentials at Sam's Club or like Costco.
Ooh.
Or
Yeah.
like you're always gonna need like ketchup
Mhm.
or like rice. Can't go with wrong like
You know.
grains and
Yeah.
stuff. Like get
Grains.
that shit at Sam's Club. Save the like however much you were gonna save and just keep it moving.
Mhm.
Okay,
And if you
Another-
can, piggyback on your parents' membership.
Well, that's true. Another grocery tip that I thought everyone knew about, but they do not, is Walmart Savings Catcher. If you've been in Walmart one time in your life, go ahead and download it. You literally, I have gotten over $100 from just scanning my receipts. They price match. You don't do a damn thing. You just scan your receipt and they price match for you. It's amazing.
I need to start shopping.
No, I'm like really
I
serious.
need
I
it.
thought everyone knew about it. It's a life changing. Actually, then I made my mom download it, so when she goes to Walmart, she scans her receipt, and I get her money too.
Ooh.
Which is like just that like small thing that my
Right.
mom can actually do for me. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I bought a printer. I bought all the ink for it. Like I tell Justin about this fucking way too much
Because I refuse because I don't like
But I'll just sit here and get a notification. I'll be like, you got $3 back from your
That's
Coke Zero was
nice.
on sale or whatever at like Kroger in some other place. Like it's great. Okay. I think
Okay,
those
I
are
should start doing it.
our money saving
Yeah, no,
tips.
Yeah. If you have any money saving tips,
Wait,
Please tweet us.
Please.
we need it. Tweet us, DM us on Twitter, email us. You know it. You know the whole
Because
thing.
your girl is roughly 4 minutes away from becoming a sugar baby. This is rough.
I have a website for that.
My way. Send them my way. If you were a sugar daddy,
Did you already
I'm
say that on this podcast
Probably.
before? I think you
Oh
both
my
were like,
gosh.
not really, but really.
I joke about it so much that it's becoming a reality.
Right. Well, let's go back to the budget for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some things that we didn't budget for: socializing.
Literally.
Wait, did we already talk about?
You're just like,
Oh, buyer's remorse.
oh.
Let's talk about that for a
Okay,
second.
great.
Like that feeling you get where you're like, oh, I really love these pens, and I really want them.
Did
It'll
you
make
say pins or pants?
pens,
Okay,
like
great.
writing
Sorry.
accent. I just really want to buy. They're a little expensive, but I want to buy them because I just want them.
Yeah.
And then you buy them, and you walk out the store, and you have like a pit in your stomach, and you like feel bad because you just spent like
Yep.
$10 on pens.
Oh, yeah.
The problem with law school is those are going to last you 4 days.
Yeah.
Because I like went and I got like the nicer spiral notebooks
Mhm.
and like the nicer pens. And I was like, it's law school, it's fine. They're gone.
Yeah.
They really are. They're gone.
I take my notes on printer paper. You can get 500 pages
Actually,
for
that's a really good idea.
$2.
That is a good
That's
idea.
How do you
ridiculous.
transport it? Do you put it in like a little notebook? Spiral
It's all in
notebook?
like a binder with like
Nice.
pockets. So I'll put like them in the pockets. And then just
That
go punch it.
encourages like free thinking when you're taking notes
Yeah.
Mhm.
too. Because I was doing
Mhm.
graph paper and I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I write really big,
Same.
so that makes me write small. Okay, that's interesting. I might have to start doing that.
Super cheap.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
you want to see my binder for me up.
Okay, cool.
Oh, we were talking
Oh,
about
sorry, buyer's
socializing.
Oh,
and
socializing.
buyer's-
Yeah, and buyer's remorse. Just like, how it's just inherent that sometimes it's nice, though, to get something for yourself.
Right.
Like,
For sure.
but feeling bad. I've tried to work on this a lot. How you ultimately end up feeling bad about yourself for spending something that, like, wasn't, quote unquote, necessary. Like,
Yeah.
something you absolutely had to have.
Mhm.
But, like, just like you were talking about, like, with the soap.
Mhm.
Like, sometimes, like, little things can really make the difference.
Right.
And that's why it's important to know what that is for you, because obviously mine's not soap. I mean, I'm like
Mhm.
joking about like
Yeah.
it's soap
Yeah.
brand. Obviously, I'm fine with using bar soap, but I'm like not fine with
Regular coffee creamer.
exactly. I
Mhm.
spend the extra 50 cents or whatever for Dunkin' Donuts coffee cream. That's such a good
Mhm.
example. Like, just know and just let yourself have that.
Yeah.
You got the bar soap. Get the good coffee
Right,
creamer.
right. Like balancing. Right. Like,
Yes.
don't go spend $800 on some new shoes.
Right.
Right.
One pair of new shoes. You know, like.
Yes.
Well, and one thing that I found is really helpful is sometimes, like, in that moment, I don't know if you guys feel like this, but, like, retail therapy is very big for me.
Mm.
And I just need, like, the endorphins that come with, like, swiping your card and being like, oh, yes. I'm telling you,
No,
I have
like,
some issues.
let yourself
Yeah.
have that, because
Yeah.
you can ruin a fun experience by being like feeling guilty.
Yeah.
So like then you just spent that money and you feel bad, and so what came out of that?
But, like, at the same time, I will set it aside for 24 hours.
Mhm.
And then at 24 hours later, if I'm like, okay, that was not an essential, like, that was, like, an impulse buy,
Mhm.
literally just return that shit.
Mhm.
And, like, you got the endorphins from swiping your card. I'm not saying, like, do this every time. Like, this is not, like,
Healthy coping mechanism.
yeah, no,
necessarily,
and I
yeah.
don't constantly, like, buy something and then return it. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes you're like, ooh, I really need this. Like, if it's not an essential, don't
Yeah,
touch it for
think on
24
it.
hours.
Yeah.
And then you have that, like, clarity
Mhm.
later.
For sure.
Like, do I actually need this? No, you don't. Take that shit back.
And you probably don't.
Wisdom from Joy.
But we didn't really talk about this socializing, like bar review.
Yeah, so I know when
Be
I
formal that you
I-
gotta pay for.
Yeah.
was
did not get my $30 worth of alcohol.
I did not either. SBA. Okay, maybe I did.
Yeah.
Woo!
Favorite.
SBA, like
Yeah,
things that
well,
like
like,
you just didn't know.
Mhm. I mean,
You know, tailgates. I thought I paid for tailgates, but I need to pay the law school for another tailgate.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh yeah.
it's a lot.
it's just a lot. It just adds up, and things
Right.
that I just wasn't thinking about.
Right.
And then my sweet regular friends who are not in law school, they like want to go do something. And you know
Mhm.
what? I have to go do, like, for me and for them, but like, you know, like you have to
Right.
sometimes just like say, okay, I'm gonna spend.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't just like put your old friends on a shelf
Yeah.
and wait for a time
Right.
when it's convenient.
Because
for
it's
you
not
to
gonna
calm
happen.
down.
Yeah.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
go to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the movie.
Right. Well, and I think we talked about it last week. Is like you want to develop relationships with people like in law school as well, and like a
Mhm.
really good way to do that is like
Yes.
go do things. So I have a
Yes.
group of friends that like we go get dinner every Sunday, and that's like so nice. But also you're just like I have to budget this like $20 to go get dinner.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people want to go somewhere nicer, and you're like I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it this week.
And there's a balance with that
Yeah.
for sure. You can
Literally.
say no.
Mhm.
Definitely. Please.
By all means, say no.
Yes.
But
Say no.
just say no.
Just say.
Or if you need it, say yes.
Yeah.
More importantly, say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are two types of people, and like you
Mhm.
have to know, like I have to make myself like feel okay about stuff like that.
Right.
Some people have to stop themselves.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, and I think that changes with like what the topic is.
Right. Like,
and,
what
like,
is it?
what's
Like,
going on in your life right now?
Right. Are you
but-
doing cocaine? Like, you should probably
Right.
not be doing that.
Don't
but
do that.
Please don't say yes to that.
Right.
But like
Say no to drugs.
generally,
Yes
yeah,
to fun times.
You want to go have a
Right.
drink after class?
just let
with
yourself
your
have it.
friends?
Just
Right.
yeah.
You know, enjoy it.
You know,
Mhm.
you know what I wish was more acceptable? Just like inviting people over to your house to
Mhm.
hang out.
Yes.
Why can't we spend time together for free?
And like not having to like drink wine, not
Yeah.
having to like
Yes, just,
make a
like,
big event
be
about
friends.
it. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
just come hang out.
most
Yeah.
people, I feel like, in the law school, at least in ours, in our situation as one else, they're either hanging out in the library.
Mm-hmm.
Not me. I'm not doing that.
Me either.
Downtown at Law Review on Thursdays.
Mhm.
Law Review. I say that every time. Bar Review. Going out drinking.
Mhm.
that's
And
it.
a lot of
That's it.
a lot of the
Dinner.
people live there too. They
Oh
live
yeah,
downtown.
live like
Oh, yeah.
very like close to that.
Mhm.
How are you affording that? Which
Well.
is a different.
Good question.
Good solid question. I'm
Yeah.
not
Right.
affording it.
I'm not
I
either,
live
yeah.
in I have 4 walls.
Total.
Yeah. Cinder block. That's not even a joke. I
No,
literally have
that's a true
cinder
fact.
block walls.
I love it.
Cute little bathroom.
It's economical.
It's so cheap.
You don't have to interact with people if you don't want to.
Yes, I know. I don't. I
That's
spend my
the
day with
dream.
people all day. I'm like an extrovert, and then I go home and I can like
Yes.
relax a little bit and not deal with
Right.
people.
I don't know if you guys. I was talking to someone about this like yesterday, but do you ever feel like even just like watching Netflix is too much work? Like doing anything is like I just want to like lay there. I don't want to think about anything.
That's when I go to sleep.
I don't want to look
Mhm.
at my phone.
Yeah.
I just want I
Mhm.
just want time to exist where I'm like not doing anything.
Just start meditating.
I was about to say no. Actually, that's when I need to start working out because
Mm.
I've been thinking about that a lot.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
I like my brain. Because you said on the podcast, I thought a lot about it. Like when you're scrolling through Twitter, like you're still using your brain. I've
Yeah.
been thinking about that so much because I think that I'm taking care of myself and like vegging out for a second, and I'm really not.
Yeah,
Especially sometimes Twitter is a lot.
it
Yes.
is.
So, or
And then you
even
get
like,
fired up.
I mean, even
Yeah.
Netflix or YouTube or whatever, like you think you're taking a second and you're
Right.
still really not. But like if you're like running,
Right.
like going to the gym, like you actually
Yoga,
are giving
something.
your brain
Mhm.
that second. I mean, and obviously meditation's a really like nice way to do that, but I think you can combine that with like also
Yeah.
taking care of
Oh
your
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I will say that like I used to do this a lot more in undergrad, and I don't do it now because I just can't be bothered to get out of bed.
Mhm.
But like sometimes like having a show that you just watch at the gym is like a really good way to like get yourself to
Oh.
the gym.
I did that in undergrad too.
Yeah.
It was like you can watch that show, but you have to do it if you're like on an elliptical. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait, that's such a good motivation.
That's
Right.
clever.
And it's good motivation to do it for a long time. If it's
Yeah.
a 40-minute show, you're doing that for 40 minutes because
Right.
you want to watch the whole thing.
And you're not like, oh,
Yeah.
I think 8 minutes of cardio is good.
I mean, that's so
Notorious.
easy to like tell yourself you're going to do.
Literally. Because now I'm like, no, I deserve it. Like it goes back to that whole piece where you're like, I deserve being in bed
Mhm.
and not being
And
at the
you
gym.
do if that's what you
Yeah.
need. I mean,
Right, but think about why are you in bed? Are you in bed because you don't want to work anymore, or are you in bed because you want to be in bed? Like, is there another way you could be using that time that would be more, I don't want to say productive because we do a lot of work, that would be
better for you.
Well, it's like you're saying. I mean, I seriously will sit on Twitter for like an hour, and I'll get up and I'll be like, did I get anything out of that? Do I feel more rested? Do I feel like more prepared to do more homework? No.
Yeah.
So, but this is coming from me who has not worked out like literally all semester. So
I've said I was going to work out 3 or 4 times a week.
Yep.
Which is like, in undergrad I worked out like 6 days a week. I've been working out once a week.
Yep.
Because I start on Sundays and I'm like, this is my week. I'm going to do it.
And then
Monday rolls around and I'm like, no, this is.
But then also you cannot like let yourself feel bad about that. Like you said, we are productive so much of the time. Like you can't get mad at yourself for that.
Like I said, I'm still losing weight because I'm not eating, so it's fine.
Score!
The second this weight starts to go back up, then maybe we'll consider that.
There you go. It's all about balance.
Right now I'm fine.
So, in summation, money. Yeah. Where is it?
Where?
I don't have any. Do you? I don't have any. None of. Oh, okay. We don't have any.
Also, our entire educational system is a fail.
Yep.
Why do we spend 7 years of our life eating 25-cent noodles? I mean, like, it really is. I think it is something that we have determined was acceptable when it is not. I think other countries and like other people would think that that's ridiculous.
Right.
That we're doing this for such a high price.
Right. Also, it's become almost aspirational. You know what I'm saying? It's like, like that's like part of being in college.
Yeah,
like,
it's romanticized.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and you can't stretch that to law school. That's not fair. It is. I get the whole like poor college student. I see it. I did that. It is like then you kind of earned
like
it
living
later.
in a dorm with a stranger, and like that's like something you've like tested yourself and you've survived. You know, like
bond over that. Oh, we're so poor or whatever. But like, I'm so over that.
Right. Well, and I think part of the reason that it's okay when you're in college is because you're literally just coming from home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you're like, this is my first time on my own. I'm making it. And I'm like, I have a degree. I have made it.
Yes.
I am tired of being poor.
Yes.
Okay? Give me my money.
Yes.
Preferably some that's not borrowed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I've spent time in abroad. Like, I was living in Spain. And so I would talk to people, and I was just curious, like, how university worked. Most people lived at home. They lived with their family.
Okay, that wasn't an option for me, though.
Right. But, I mean, that's just how it's structured. Like, they don't have, like,
Sure.
a camp, like a lot of times there's not, like, just a big campus where everyone goes, and, like, living on campus isn't a thing.
Yeah.
And so they would just live at home. It was paid for. They would just go. Like, it was just a completely different, like, mascots weren't a thing. College athletics weren't a thing.
All of that is sounding so sad to me. Those are
Yeah.
all my
Yeah.
favorite parts
Right.
of college
Literally.
campus.
Absolutely.
Football,
But it's just, they
No,
just
yeah,
have a
my
different
parents.
perspective
Well, what's
on,
accepted.
Yeah.
on what that secondary education should be like.
In a very different way, I know we're like wrapping up, but I do want to say that I have so much respect for people who are actual literal adults with children,
Yes.
spouses, homes.
Yes.
Because all the stuff that we are saying, they have all of that in addition to extremely more important responsibilities, such as young children.
Yes. I mean, we know people that have, like, infants.
Yes.
Yeah.
People getting married, like, on the weekend in law school.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so, I mean, well, that's a decision.
Right.
That's a little different. But, I mean, I just...
But if you're at that point in your life,
I
like,
do have to say, I respect the fact that, like, I can eat Wendy's 4 for $4.
Yeah.
Are you going to give your kids that every day? I mean, or even then, how expensive that is.
Yeah.
Like, children are expensive. I mean, so I respect that, like, even that is very relative.
we should have somebody.
Especially because you have
That'd
to,
be
like,
so cool. Yeah.
balance, like, make sure that they're eating, like, balanced meals. And then they, like, actually need essentials.
And
you know
talk
what I'm
about
saying?
time.
Yeah. Oh, because you can make yourself feel like shit if you, like, eat fast food every day.
Yeah,
Like, that's fine. But, like, are you going to do that to your baby? Like, your
No,
little
your
tiny
kid
Well,
needs
I
little
mean,
nugget?
up.
you can't be doing homework till, you know, the late hours. Well, you can do it when they go to bed, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you have to stop and be a parent. And,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
You can't neglect that.
that is something
Yeah.
that we are not experiencing. I'm grateful for that. I respect that a lot.
We need to have one of our friends with kids on.
That'd be
Yes.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's such
So
a
I'd
different
love to hear
experience.
that. Yeah.
I would like to hear the like decision to go to law school. I think that I'm so fascinated by, like, obviously that's a huge investment. Like, you're investing like for your children,
Yeah.
Right.
but like, you know that there's got to be some back and forth in your mind about that. Like, am I going to be like a little bit less available to my children for 3 years?
Right.
To then,
Especially if you're coming from like an established career.
which I think the
Yeah.
people I know are.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
like
if you're,
Torin,
yeah,
like we had him on a couple episodes ago. He was like, kind of just trying to figure things out.
sure.
But I know several people that like were like a teacher, and then they were like, oh, let's go to law school. So like they
Right.
like did stuff and like had been doing it for a couple years,
Right.
and then they're like,
And made money.
Yeah.
They made money doing that.
That's why I'm like, I kind of wish that our law school had like a part-time program. Because I think that that's something that's really nice because it
Yes.
allows you to not completely put your life on hold.
yeah.
But like to do this, you have to basically just take a step back and be like, I can't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing spouse. I mean,
Literally.
I cannot.
Because I wouldn't do it.
I mean, I'm like a burden on my friends now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to have a spouse with children.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay, that was just my little shout out.
No,
Just
good.
Go people with.
We're gonna try that for our next
families.
episode. See if we can get that rolling. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
This was fun. I can't wait to be so horrified hearing my voice.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, Brittany. Thank you so much for
Thank you
being
for
here.
having me,
Mhm,
guys.
super exciting.
It was fun.
Once again, you can follow us on Twitter at Bad Breaches. You can email us at badbreaches@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest,
Please be a guest.
tweet us, email us, send us a carrier pigeon. whatever
Yes,
you're
I would
into.
love that. A Harrier jet.
Yes, send us a Harrier jet, preferably one
With
that you
Pepsi
got from
points.
Pepsi. Yeah. Even if you don't go to our law school, we can make
Yeah.
it work where we can
Wait,
record
that
with
could be
you,
so
Mhm.
cool.
right?
Yeah, we have the
Other law
technology.
schools exist? What?
I know. We're not the only people going through
Yeah,
this.
but
It's crazy.
things exist besides this exact law school at this point in time?
And our experience here?
No way.
Yeah, crazy.
I don't think
Incorrect.
so.
No.
Also, if you have any topics you want us to cover,
Yeah,
please,
please let us know.
Yeah.
We're open to literally everything.
we're open to most things.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
say we're open to
So
everything.
she's
Justin's open to everything.
yeah,
Right.
a,
Joy's
concurring-
like an if.
a
yeah.
narrowing concurring opinion. So
Are you
she
open
controls.
to Ben Shapiro being on our podcast? No? Okay, then we're not open to everything.
Okay, so we're gonna. And with that, we'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.